Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into an absolutely incredible story of faith, courage, and divine strategy. It's the story of Gideon and his tiny army against an overwhelming force. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Picture this. Gideon and his Israelite army are camped near the spring of Herod. Below them, in the valley, is a Midianite army so vast that it's described as being like a swarm of locusts. The odds are already stacked against them, but this is where the story gets really interesting. God speaks to Gideon and says, "Gideon, you have too many men." Can you imagine hearing that? You're about to face an impossibly large enemy, and God tells you to downsize your army. Why? God explains, it's so Israel won't be able to boast that they won by their own strength. The victory had to be God's and God's alone. So, Gideon follows the instruction. He makes an announcement. Anyone who is afraid can go home, and just like that, 22,000 men pack up and left. He tells Gideon, there are still too many, so a second test is put in place, known as the water test. God instructs Gideon to take the men down to the water to drink. He says to watch how they drink. Most of the men get down on their knees and put their faces directly into the water. But a small group, just 300 men, cup the water with their hands and lap it like a dog, staying alert and ready. God says, "These are your men. Send the others home." Now, let's just pause and think about this. Gideon is left with only 300 soldiers. 300 men to face an army that covered the valley floor. The camels alone were as numerous as the sand on the seashore. From a human perspective, this was a suicide mission. But this is where faith kicks in. The lesson is becoming crystal clear. The victory would not come from military might, but from God's power. Even so, God knew Gideon needed some encouragement. That night, God tells him to sneak down to the Midianite camp and listen. So Gideon goes, and what he hears is amazing. He overhears one Midianite soldier telling another about a dream he had. In the dream, a loaf of barley bread tumbled into the Midianite camp and struck a tent so hard that it collapsed. The other soldier immediately interprets it, saying, "This can be nothing other than the sword of Gideon." God has given the Midianites and the whole camp into his hands. Hearing this was all Gideon needed. His faith was completely renewed. He bowed in worship right then and there, then hurried back to his camp. He wakes up his 300 men with a new sense of purpose and a brilliant, unconventional battle plan straight from God. Here's the plan. He divides the 300 men into 3 groups of 100. He gives every single man a trumpet, an empty clay jar, and a lit torch to hide inside the jar. Their weapons weren't swords or spears, but trumpets, jars, and torches. This was psychological warfare at its finest, orchestrated by God himself. Under the cover of darkness, Gideon's 3 companies surround the massive Midianite camp. At his signal, in perfect unison, all 300 men smash their jars, creating a deafening crash. Instantly, they blow their trumpets, a sound usually associated with a much larger attacking force. And as the light from 300 torches suddenly blazes in the darkness, they all shout the battle cry, a sword for the Lord and for Gideon. The effect was immediate and catastrophic for the Midianites. Woken from their sleep by the terrifying noise and blinding light coming from all directions, they panicked. They thought they were being attacked by a massive, powerful army. In the chaos and confusion, the Lord caused them to turn their swords on each other. The camp descended into complete pandemonium, and the Midianites fled in terror, with the Israelites chasing after them to secure a total victory. What an incredible story, right? It goes to show that God doesn't need huge numbers or a powerful army to achieve his purposes. He just needs a few people with faithful and obedient hearts. This story is a powerful reminder that when we feel small, outnumbered, or ill-equipped for the challenges ahead, we need to trust in his power, not our own. When we do that, we can see miraculous results that go far beyond what we could ever accomplish by ourselves. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope this story encouraged you as much as it encourages me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next one.